welcome to the 2020-2021 academic year SRC Local News face-to-face program. We are aware in the times that we find ourselves with this COVID protocol, that's why we have to reduce the numbers here. And so we are streaming this program live on YouTube, and the account is TV UCC, all caps. TV UCC, all caps. We want you also to share it on your other platforms so that students who are in the halls or anywhere can also access it. We want to get some rules, the ground rules for the program before we commence. All aspirants, but SRC presidents and local news presidents will have 5 minutes for their presentation. All aspirants, but SRC presidents and local news presidents will have 5 minutes for their presentation. And then the presidents will have 7 minutes for their presentation. After which we allow 2 persons for each aspirant to ask a question. So for every aspirant, 2 persons will be invited, maximum of 2. It doesn't mean we should be 2. Maximum of 2 persons will be invited to ask questions. Please ensure you have your nose masks on at all times. Wear it properly, don't be dropping them. You have your nose masks on at all times. Especially the aspirants and those who will be coming to ask questions, still have it on. When you're coming to talk, don't drop it. Still let it be on. We will hear you. So please ensure you have that on. Aspirants are expected to first sanitize their hand using this sensor before you come use the mic or come close to the podium. So when you are called, you first have to go to this sensor, sanitize your hand before you come to the podium. We also want to encourage that we maintain at all times the spacing in the sitting arrangement. At all times, let's maintain the spacing in the sitting arrangements. May I take this opportunity to also introduce to you some dignitaries on the high table. To my extreme left is Dr. Charles Adabo, who is the Vice Chairperson for the Electoral Committee. Next to him is Madame Milan Tavia, who is the Chairperson for the Electoral Committee and also doubles as the Chair for this morning's program. Without much ado, I invite her to give us a few words, and then we'll pick the program.
Thank you very much, and welcome to the 2021 face-to-face SRC local news presentation. Yes, elections is due on Monday, and so this is an opportunity or platform to hear from our aspirants so that we can also ask questions and then make informed decisions on Monday. I would want to encourage our aspirants not to get panicked, but rather build their confidence level up as they come up to make their presentations. On that note, I would ask for the cooperation and support of all of us gathered here so that we would have a successful program. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madame Milan Tavia, Chairperson for the program, for accepting to chair the affairs. As I said, all aspirants will have 5 minutes. We're going according to how you balloted. So your position on the ballot papers is what we'll be using. And we'll be starting with the SRC Public Relations Officer, followed by SRC Coordinating Secretary, followed by SRC Secretary, SRC General Sports Secretary, SRC Treasurer, Women's Commissioner for Local News, Local News Secretary, Local News Presidents, and then SRC Presidents. Please, as you know, and you've been asked to sit in that order, we don't want to spend more time here. 5 minutes for everybody who comes. You still remember to sanitize your hand first. We call on Andrew Eya Duku to start with us. 5 minutes. There are timekeepers. When it's 1 minute, we'll be prompted.
Good morning to us all. I find this a singular honor to have the opportunity to address us all ahead of the coming elections on Monday, February 18th, 2021. I am in the person of Andrew Ayeduku. Most of you know me as captain, and I'm vying for the position of SRC Public Relations Officer, in short PRO. Serving as the PRO would mean that I would be the link between you, the students, and then the SRC Executive Committee, which serves as the mouthpiece of our students. My policies are very simple. Most of the decisions will be taken by the SRC president, but then being on the committee would mean that we have the opportunity to influence decisions which are taken on behalf of the student. Ours deals with releasing of information to the student body, and we intend to do that by liaison with the various students associations so that various programs can be brought, various challenges that the students face in the various programs can be brought to light and addressed on a collective basis. Secondly, since we'll be serving as the mouthpiece for the students of the University of Cape Coast, I intend to set up time with your PRO. And this is a program which is intended to allow the ordinary student to have a session with me, should I have the opportunity to serve as a PRO, so that they can bring their challenges, their grievances to us, and it will be channeled to the university management. Another thing we intend to do is to make maximum use of the student portal. There's great potential in our student portals. It can be used for so many things. Our university was established in October 1962. As of last October, it turned 58 years. This is a long time in which we could have experienced a number of developments. Each year, students go around the various departments searching for their timetables. There is no notification, there is no update. You just have to keep going until you eventually see your timetable. We have colleagues who are in UPSA and also in the University of Ghana, Legon, whose timetables are placed in their portals and they do not go through the stress we are going through. We believe that this can also be achieved for you, our students. Why do we believe this is possible? When it's time for examinations, I believe all the continuing students would bear with me that our examination timetables are placed in the student portals. So if that is the case, why not with our regular timetable? We intend to push for this to be done. Secondly, with the elections, I would say our elections don't really reflect the full capacity of our students, because each year, after leaving the halls, when it's time for elections, you have to go all the way back to the halls to do your voting. There's no transportation provided, and there is no holiday so that you can say, because of that, you're having time to go to your lectures. We've made inquiries, and it is possible to have this done in the student portal. This is also something we want to push for so that our students don't go through the stress. Our colleagues at KNUST are enjoying a data sim package which we have inquired about. And as of now, I've spoken to agents from the Vodafone headquarters, and they are ready to roll out this package for us. However, we need the mandate to do so. The ball is now in our court. Monday, 8th of February 2021, we would exercise our powers. We urge you to make the right choice to choose Captain as your next public relations officer. Thank you very much.
Time up. Okay, so 2 persons maximum. If you have questions for Andrew Ayedoku with the teaser captain number 1 on the ballot paper. Any question for Andrew? All right, then thanks so much, Andrew, for doing it within the 5 minutes. Exactly 5 minutes. So we call on Divine Bezra with the teaser Zala number 2 on the ballot paper. Please remember to sanitize your hand before you get close.
Good morning, colleagues. My name is Divine Bejra. Manifesto to be delivered by Divine Bejra, an aspirant for Ucc Src PRO, Public Relations Officer, on the 3rd of February 2021. The chair, distinguished guests, the media, fellow students, I greet you all. I am Divine Bejra, as I mentioned, known as Zala, a level 400 BA Social Sciences student of our great university, majoring in Geography and Sociology. I am vying for the portfolio of SRC PRO, Public Relations Officer. I would like to explain to you why I think I will be a great leader and yet the best servant for this office. I will urge you all to kindly listen attentively to why you need to endorse Zala on the 8th of February this year. The chair, fellow students, I observed in recent time that there is much information that students do not have access to due to the nature of their phone. Therefore, I dream an SRC that does not limit its information system, information dissemination to social media platform, but one that sees to it that irrespective of what phone a student uses on campus, he or she is not deprived of his or her right to have access to information on SRC and university-related activities. Therefore, we want to introduce the bulk SMS information sharing with the sense that anyone who may not be online at the time of us sharing the information, or the person is not using Android phone at a time, that person will be able to have access to information, depicting our motto, that is equal and accessible information dissemination. Again, the chair, ladies and gentlemen, the SRC spent hundreds of cedis in developing a campus application for the student. But the question is, how many of us have this application on our phone? Just few people. So when we are giving the nod as your next SRC PRO, we're going to do a sensitization program, a program whereby we will paste information on notice boards. We will go to class when we have any information to give, and within that time we're going to let the students know about the value of the app, so that this app, when they download it and we share the information through it, everybody will have equal access to information, or you have access to the information so far as you are having the app. And we also dream to use the column that is created for the app, that is past questions column. There is a column where you have to type your past question code and you download the past question, but they did not upload these past questions onto the app. But when you give us the nod as your next SRC PRO, we will make sure that we upload past questions onto the app. so that you just type your course code and you download the past questions, and this will help to facilitate well in our academic performances. Therefore, we urge you to vote Zala as your next SRC PRO for this nice policy to be implemented.
1 minute more.
The chair, ladies and gentlemen, this Zala agenda is an all-in-one agenda. The visually impaired will not be left behind. We will provide with them brailles that they will use to read information, because we say that everyone should have equal access to information. So the visually impaired too, we will make sure we provide with them brailles that they will use to read the information. The chair will also make use of social media, ATLFM, WhatsApp, social media example, ATLFM, WhatsApp, and others, to share information to colleague students, so that we all have access to information. The chair wonderfully, colleagues, aspirants, fellow students, and gentlemen, your life today determines your attitude and decision of the past, and your life tomorrow will be the result of the decision you have taken today, quote and unquote. I want to still encourage you on the decision you have already to vote for Zala as your next SRC PRO. I speak to you currently, Zala, my fellow contestants, as convinced to vote for Zala. Thank you very much.
Okay, so please wait. Any question for Zala? Divine Bezra, number 2 on the ballot paper. Any question for him? All right, we thank you so much. Please, as I said, the sitting arrangement, when you come, just look at it. Please shift a bit. Move to the, no, not you. Yeah, the first one. Good. And then let's not drop the nose marks. We beg you. All right, so we call Pascal Cobbler. Filler boy, Pascal. Pascal Cobbler, number 3 on the ballot paper. Pascal, please do well to sanitize your hand before you come to the podium.
Good morning, college students. Thank you very much for this opportunity. Mr. Chair, my name is Cobbler Pascal. I'm popularly known as Fella Boy Pascal. I am vying for the position of the 2020-2021 academic year SRC PRO. I am an affiliate of Kwame Nkrumah Hall in level 300, reading Bachelor of Arts, Social Sciences, majoring in Geography and Economics from College of Humanity and Legal Studies. With my experience in reporting, blogging, and correspondence, I report all that happens in the university and beyond to our noble students. Through this, I interact with students and also manage their reputation when the need arises. I have experience in communication and also help resolve student-related issues through proper dialogue with appropriate offices. Colleagues, today I am the candidate.
Pascal, please pull your nose mask up. Just pull it up. Thank you.
Today I am the candidate for University of Cape Coast Student Representative Council Public Relations Officer, and my policies are as follows. At the lecture theatres, I will liaise with course representative to report any fault at the lecture theatres for immediate solution. These faults include broken furniture at the lecture theatre, poor lighting system, faulty microphones and projectors. The filing of reports will be done through the creation of social media platform, preferably WhatsApp and Telegram pages for course representative to help communicate information from the SRC to students and from students to the SRC effectively. At the various halls and diaspora, I will effectively supervise the SRC representatives in the halls to make available information to everybody in the halls through pasting of notices at the designated point in the halls. Information to students living in the diaspora will also come in handy. This will be made possible through sending of bulk SMS to all students, since not all students will be available on social media to access important information. For campus broadcast, I will liaise with the campus broadcast team as a correspondent to organize open day and press tour to our students. This will enable students who have interest in media and reporting to interact with experienced personnel to relieve their dreams. I'll also make available important information from the school's various directorates are made available every now and then without hustling. I will solicit support from shuttle drivers to play announcements in the shuttle for students to be privy to information, both the visually impaired and everyone. Now, with a broadcasting team, we want to develop a short code for our college students, where if you have a young phone, you just dial, let's say, *345. So immediately you dial, you get all the information based on school fees, administration, everything. So now you don't have to go to the administration to seek for information. You just use your short code, then it will provide any information you want. Now we are in university and we have to follow the technological world. You don't just have to sit down, walk to administration, walk to this. So those things will be channeled if you give me the mandate. To ensure accountability, I'll make sure anything that happens at the SRC will be published on the University of Cape Coast app. Now it has become relevant. We have to improve the app. So colleagues, we need your mandate. Colleagues, may I conclude with a quote from Mahatma Gandhi? He said, never lose faith.
1 minute more.
Mahatma Gandhi said, never lose faith in humanity. Never lose faith in humanity. The fact that the past did not work is not enough reason to doubt the present. Let us forget about all that happens in the past. Focus on the present. And we believe that you will channel your grievances to appropriate authority. Vote for Boy Pascal, the number 3 on the ballot screen for accessible, timely, and reliable information. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pascal. Pascal Kobler, Boy Pascal, number 3 on the ballot paper. Any questions for Pascal? Any questions for Pascal? All right, please step forward. Any other person? If you have a question, please come up. Use the podium. Sanitize your hand.
All protocols duly observed. Good afternoon. Pascal, please, do you know one good thing about history is history repeats itself. So you telling us we should forget about past administrations. Now, my question is, you said when we give you the mandate, you will channel information regarding broken furniture in the various lecture theaters. How do you intend doing this? Because we quite remember all the past administrations giving us the same old story. How would your case be different? Thank you.
All right, Pascal, please answer the question.
Well, thank you very much for your question. I made mention court representatives. You know, we can't come to all of you for your opinions. That's why we have court representatives. So you have a platform for representatives, then all the grievances will be channeled to us. Maybe on WhatsApp pages, we get all the court representatives. So those people will now report any faulty to us. I think we haven't experienced that, but now we are bringing it on board. So with this administration, we are involving all leaders, every leader. You are even a leader. So if you know me, you can come to me, Pascal, this is what is happening. Let us report it to the appropriate authority, and they will be able to do that. So I think our core representatives will work on that, and you create a platform for them. I hope I'm answered.
All right. Thank you, Pascal. You may take your seat. So we move to, clap for Pascal. So we move to SRC Coordinating Secretary. Esther Dara with teaser ST. Oh, Freda Candy Mensa, that's for coordinating secretary, with a teaser Freda. She's going unopposed, but we still need to hear from her.
Good morning. Thank you. Good morning to you all. The chair, colleague aspirants, fellow students, all protocols duly observed, ladies and gentlemen. Frida Kandimesa is my name. I am a level 400 student reading communication studies, an affiliate of alcohol. Among several reasons I would like to hold this office are my abilities to utilize my skills, knowledge, and creativity in the field of organizing to support the good people of UCC. I am versatile, which enables me to work with people from all walks of life and cultures. I am also able to work under pressure with little or no supervision, and it is my passion to empower the people around me to develop and grow. Acknowledging the works of my predecessors and other executives, when given the opportunity to serve the leadership front as the SRC Coordinating Secretary, these are the things I aim to achieve. First, Frida has the unwavering dream of bringing the SRC to the very doorsteps of students, together with my SRC executives. SRC at Your Doorstep will be an initiative where we will organize forums in the various halls of residence at least once a month to discuss pressing issues. I believe with Frida as the SRC Coordinating Secretary, the complaints from students that they are not privy to key information will be consigned into a museum of history as a new era unfolds before us. For this dream to come into fruition, I urge you all, colleagues, to vote yes when you go to the polls. Trust me, you wouldn't waste your vote if you vote for me. The National Labour Commission of Ghana, some 3 years ago, estimated a staggering unemployment graduate figure of 700,000. This figure increased further in 2020 due to the COVID-19. This has, and it's making entrepreneurship a big deal. When elected, I will liaise with other executives to introduce entrepreneurial programs to equip students with entrepreneurial skills when employment are not forthcoming from both government and private sectors after school. I believe without any iota of doubt that this will be one of the surest ways to reduce graduate unemployment rate. Voting yes for Frida is voting for great teamwork. The duties of the SRC Coordinating Secretary are one that is more centric on the principal duties as prescribed by the SRC Constitution. The SRC Coordinating Secretary, serving as the organizing secretary for the SRC board, must equally be someone who can effectively liaise with the SRC Vice President in coordinating the activities of the SRC subcommittees. This cannot be anyone else but Frida, who is conscientious, active, and energetic. Moreover, another thing to be done is about the early distribution of letters to our able sponsors and management in the quest for their support in respect to programs organized by the SRC. Furthermore, as part of the organizing duties of the SRC Coordinating Secretary, it also ensures the smooth running of all programs held by the SRC. Hence, I will liaise with other executives to organize night buses
1 minute more
to convey students to their various destinations on campus after SRC night programs. I will also assist the SRC's General Secretary in writing minutes, and programs will also be held at venues where our colleagues with disabilities can attend. Colleague aspirants, fellow students, all protocols duly observed. Frida has the dream of taking up the unfinished business of perfecting the very office of the SRC Coordinating Secretary and also to give it a major facelift. I am resolute in my determination to serve the student front, and your unflagging support is seemingly indispensable. Colleagues, join me and let's coordinate with Frida. Frida will never sacrifice the general aspirations of the good students of UCC on the altar of self-interest. I encourage all students to go in their numbers on the 8th of February to vote yes for Frida. A yes for Frida is a yes for better students front. Thank you.
Time up. Time up. So Frida can demand teaser Frida going unopposed. So it's yes or no deal. Please, any question for Frida? And please, as I reiterated, let's set with the distancing. Vomojo, I think you should have your lane. Be at the extreme, and then the next person to be in the middle. Yes. Go to the extreme. Yes. And then please move to the middle. All right. Any question for Frida? All right. If no question, please resume your seat. We want to remind ourselves that we're streaming this live on YouTube, and the account name is TVUCC, all caps. TVUCC. We encourage that you put it on your social media platforms so those who are not here can follow through. All right, so it's now time for SRC Secretary Esther Dara with the teaser ST. She's also going unopposed. Let's clap for her. Esther, sanitizer.
Secretary, the chair, fellow aspirants, all protocol duly observed. Good morning. I would like to use this opportunity to once again welcome you all back to school. Even as you're back in school, it's very important that we have students representatives who advocate for our interests as students. That is how important having the SLC election is. My name is Esther Dara. I'm a level 400 communication studies student, aspiring for the portfolio of the SLC General Secretary with a teaser ST. Now, the office of the SLC General Secretary is very important to the smooth administration of the SLC. And so, when it comes to writing of minutes, keeping records, and making all those records accessible, all those things are the responsibilities of the SRC Secretary. Now, what are the new things I would like to do? The first thing I would like to talk about is the introduction of summarized minutes. This summarized minutes will be in a soft copy form that will be circulated on the various social media platforms. Now, the problem that exists now is that a number of students do not read the minutes published on the various notice boards. Asking why, one major response you're going to get is that the minute is too detailed and that we don't have much time to read through it and all of that. But you'll agree with me that that is very problematic, because if you don't read the minutes, then we don't get to know what decisions the SLC is making on our behalf. And so we cannot appropriately criticize the SLC, appreciate what they're doing, or even suggest to the SLC what we believe should be done to help all of us. And so that element of participation and accountability is missing. How I intend to solve this problem is to introduce this summarized minute. It's going to be a summary of the detailed minute. It's going to be in simple language, straight to the point, and it will be circulated on the various social media platforms. However, the detailed minutes will still be published on the various notice boards for those of us who still have interest in reading the details of what went on during the meeting to also have access to that information. The next thing I would like to talk about is the introduction of what I call student service system. The SLC Secretariat should be an office that attends to students regarding anything concerning students. And this is something I would like to make very effective if I become the next SLC Secretary. How I intend to do this is to liaise with other SRC executives to create an SRC app. Now, this app is going to make it possible for the SRC to communicate to students and also enable students to communicate to the SRC. Also, the contacts of the leaders of the various student committees will be made available on that app, so that depending on the nature of our complaints, you can contact those leaders for your issues or your concerns to be appropriately addressed. Also, minutes and then reports will also be published on that platform, so that we can all have access to information. Another thing I would like to do is to introduce training and internship for volunteers plus certificates. Over the years, student service has been poor when it comes to the SRC attending to the needs of students as and when need be. Sometimes you go to the SRC office and you don't even find anyone there to attend to you. And that is a big problem. How I intend to solve this problem is to introduce this training and internship for volunteers. Now, how this works is this. Students who are interested in gaining some experience in the work of a secretary will be recruited and trained.
1 minute more.
Will be recruited and trained to work in the office. So some of their works will be answering to calls of students, documenting their complaints, and being present at the SRC office to attend to students who go there in person. I've been able to prove to you how, through this point, we can achieve participation, accessibility of information, and accountability. These are things we have to be looking at when choosing our leaders. And so I encourage us all to endorse ST as our next SRC General Secretary. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Esteem. Esther Dara. Okay. Going unopposed, yes or no affair. Any question for Esther? Okay, please come. As he comes, please, our nose mask at the top. You know that there's a thick liner. Just press it so it locks your nose. So as you move up and down, it doesn't drop. We beg you. We want to observe the protocols.
Okay, thank you, Esther. Per the manifestos reading from the PROs up to you, the secretary, you are all talking about the SRC UCC app. We all know this app is in existence, but we, the students, aren't using it to our benefit. So I want to ask you, how do you intend to work with your PROs in making this app very useful to us, the students, so that we can use it very well? Thank you.
So thank you very much. The UCC SRC app, as you said, is in existence, but it's not really effective. Now, how I intend to make this as effective is this, okay? Every student has a portal, okay? So I intend to work with the appropriate authorities so that we can connect or link this app to the student portal. With that, every student can have access to that app. And so whatever information the SRC has, it will be posted on that platform. And when you also have any concern, you post it on that platform. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Esther. Please resume your seat. We're also on Facebook, the same account, TV UCC. So you can also inform your colleagues, put it on your platforms, let them also follow TV UCC. All right, so we move to SRC General Sports Secretary, and that is Samuel Edujemfi. Saviola, also going unopposed, but we still have to listen to him and make informed decisions. Saviola, please use the sanitizer.
Good afternoon, colleague students. It is a great honor and desire to present myself to serve and see to the development of UCC sports. I am Samuel Edujemfi, a level 400 student reading Bachelor of Education in Health, Physical Education, and Recreation. And I'm an affiliate of the Great Kisley Hayford Hall, Casford. It is with much pleasure to spell out my vision and aspiration to help UCC sports to another level. I want to be the SRC Sports Secretary who puts our student interest first. I want to draw student focus to sports and make them understand that sports is not a mere addition to the curriculum, but a discipline which can really give them an opportunity. I want to encourage students, especially those who have talent in sports, that this is the time they should accept to give their talent chance. Coming to UCC, I realize that most students come with a perception that UCC is all about academics. So therefore, ignore and completely drop their talent in sports. I want to be the SRC Sports Secretary who will make students understand and also clear all this perception so that we can change that image about the university, which mostly gets so many students, especially those with sporting talent, so nervous and do not want to even step foot in our noble institution. So I come with the slogan, time to give talent chance. Now these are my policies. 1, recreational games for our disabled brothers and sisters on a special holiday. You see, if you go for the GUSA games, that is the Ghana University Sports Association games, UCC disabled students, mostly the gold ball, we mostly win the gold medal. But when we come to campus, I have not realized a single day that there is a special game going on for our disabled students. So I intend to implement that at least within the semester, there should be games for our colleagues. Then information about sports in the university, the opportunity it tends to give, and the need to join. You see, sometimes some students don't know why they have to join the school sports. When I came to University of Cape Coast, if not for anything, I have seen 3 students who have traveled on scholarship because they joined the university sports to go and study abroad in the universities in USA. Yes, the one was in my class, and I think 1-2 Duncan was our 400-meter runner, and right now he's studying. Then improvement in the conditions of the campus soccer and basketball league. You see, in the days that I've been in UCC, most of our situations in the campus league has not been the best. So I try to help and improve. Then organization of health, work, and fitness to help students stay healthy for academical purposes. Then introduction of UCC Strongest. You see, most of our students, I have realized in the halls, you go and you see them lifting metals and those stuff. It's not just for the physique, but also it helps to keep their body strong. Then a standard academical criteria for our students who join the university sports team. This is one of the things I really pledge that I want to bring on board, because we can't have students sacrificing their academical time to go to the field, practice and help the university win medals in the GUSA games and still be graded as the normal students who don't go to the field to have those things.
1 minute more.
On our timetable, most of us don't know. We should have had games every Tuesday when it's 3:30 to 5:30. You see the sports session, that is why we pay for it. But we don't enjoy. When I interacted with the past SRC Sports Secretary, he made me understand that Vice Chancellor said we don't have enough infrastructure. That is why we don't enjoy. Then why do we pay? So I want to put on board that it's either we do it first Tuesday of every month or we don't do it at all. So we abolish that money from our school fees. Then lastly, I can't finish by not commending the work of Umojo. He has really done well, and once one man cannot do all the work, I also want to come on board so that I also help the UCC sports. So you vote yes for Saviola on the 8th
time
of February.
Samuel Edujemfi Saviola going unopposed. Any question for Saviola? Please come. Brenner, you're supposed to separate a bit, space out.
Thank you for this opportunity. Mr. Viola, you made mention of your motto being time to give talent chance. We could see that when students come to school, level 100, they are given the opportunity, some are given the opportunity to read physical education as a liberal course. And most of the times, students take it for fun, others also take it for academic purposes. But sometimes also some students excel in some portions of these physical education, like maybe sports or soccer and running, athletics and other things. I would like to know that if in case you become the SRC Sports Secretary and a student in, let me say, another department that has a very tight schedule is able to excel in a certain form of athletics, how will you be able to communicate with the department to give that student a chance? If that student will be given the opportunity to have a way that he could also exhibit such talent and be part of the UCC Sports Association or Club.
Okay, thank you very much for your question. I hope you heard me make mention of something that at least there should be a set criteria standard for students who participate in the university sports. Because UCC for the past 8 years now have won the Gusa Games across all the universities where we host it. So for 8 years now, we have been the winners. And you see that we don't even hear. If it was Legon that won even just one trophy, everybody would have heard Legon won. But because in our school, we have prioritized academics in such a way that it is the only thing. Because look at, we are reading manifesto, 22,000 student population, and we don't even have 500 here. Because somebody will tell you that they have lectures. So it is on to us, the SRC executives, to make the student body understand that university is not all about academics. There is a lot to academics when you come to the university. So you have to speak with the HODs of that department where that talented person is, so that the HOD will understand that such a person does not hold only academical talent, but also have a talent of which, if he graduates and he is not finding work at the corporate field where he can use his certificate, his talent in sports can find him somewhere. Because at least if he gets a chance to enter the national team or gets a chance to travel abroad, he can use that as a means of survival.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Saviola, please resume your seat. I think there's no other question for you. So we move to SRC Treasurer, where the money is. And we have first on the ballot, David Ajamai, with the teaser, King Dave, number 1 on the ballot paper. David, please, yes, sanitize your hand and then have the podium.
Good afternoon, colleagues. Madam Chairperson, all protocol observed. Ladies and gentlemen, it is yet that time again of the year that we have to exercise our individual rights to select the rightful leaders to represent us. And that is why David Ajiman, also known as King Dave, number 1 on the ballot screen, and a Become Accounting level 400 student comes to your doorsteps, not as a master, but rather as a servant who will put your interest first before any other thing. Should I be given the mandate to serve as the next SRC Treasurer for the 2020-2021 academic year? As a former president of School of Business, I know that leadership is not an easy task, yet born leaders would want to sit on it. I proved myself as
I proved myself as an effective administrator, inspiring motivator, and certainly set a fine example of reliability, transparency, and commitment. My administration recorded the highest revenue mobilization ever through sponsorship and member subscription. As the adage goes, one good turn deserves another, and as such, I am delighted for the opportunity offered me to present to you why I should be chosen as the best man for the office of the SRC Treasurer. King Dave is here with a vision to improve the transparency and accountability of SRC and ensure that efficacy is at its best. Madam Chairperson, students usually want to know the inflows and outflows of their money, and that financial information dissemination role will be my priority. When I was the School of Business president, there wasn't any day that we would have a general meeting that I would not print out the financials, the receipt and payment, budget and everything, and give it to the members who are there, because I believe that they have the right to know what we are using their monies for. And even now, that the SRC Constitution, chapter 7.7, says that all student accounts should be audited and advertised on notice boards for public scrutiny. Now that we have a constitution which backs it, I don't think there's nothing which will prevent me from doing this role. Madam Chairperson, leadership, often with respect to effective and efficient fund management, requires one to take due diligent measures. We therefore thank our predecessors for a battle well fought, and we promise to continue to be prudent and more diligent at our era. The prioritization of the promotion and entrenchment of probity, accountability, and transparency in this field of leadership shall be ensured. And if there is any other promise to be made, then we promise to compile comprehensive financial reports that will be circulated to all students through diverse media ranging from social media networks and notice boards showing detailed budgets for the SRC activities as far as student monies are concerned. Madam Chairperson, in order to ensure financial diligence, transparency, and accountability in our term of office, we will have all SRC members sign a code of conduct that will dictate the terms and reasonable usage in relation to how funds are appropriated in the discharge of their respective executive duties. We would also reduce the spending of the SRC where possible in order to increase our cash base so as to finance, if not all, a greater percentage of our currently outstanding debt. I am impassioned with a heart to serve all students on this campus, and I will commit my time and experience to ensure that in the coming year, the portfolio of the SRC Treasurer will effectively serve the need of all students on campus who are in financial need. Madam Chairperson, I think that there is a fund called the SWAF and the SEF, which is the Student Emergency Relief Fund, which I think that should serve the interests of students. When I was the president, I usually have calls, people calling me, oh, President, what I'm eating this evening, it's usually bad. But when I hear of such information, it saddens my heart because I know that there is a fund which is supposed to serve this interest, but this fund is not accessible to all students. So during my time, as I have announced it here, I know that I am also going to do my possible best to make sure that everyone knows about this fund and how to apply and enjoy from this kind of fund. I will therefore personally call upon all student populace to partake in this election, a massively vote for King Dave to take the baton to the next level from the position where my predecessor attained. Make King Dave your choice as the next SRC Treasurer, number one on the ballot screen. Thank you very much.
Time up. All right, so questions for King Dave? Yeah, please come. If there is any other, please follow.
Thanks for this opportunity. You said in order to ensure financial diligence. With that statement, we could see that the SRC Treasurer is signatory to all SRC checks or whatever thing that moves out of the SRC coffers. If it gets to the time where the president, with his power decides to undertake some financial duties or obligations that, per your financial understanding, you think that the president's decisions, according to financial work, isn't actually beneficial or would not be beneficial to the SRC. If such a case should happen, how are you going to deal with it? Are you going to overrule the power of the SRC president, which could also amount to other issues, or you're going to kowtow to his desires and whatever he seeks to achieve? Thank you.
Let's take the second question, and then you answer the two together.
All right, thank you. King Dave, in your presentation, you made mention of certain things, but let me make it a bit swift. How do you intend to publish the SRC spendings and receipts that you get during the year? We want to know, because we've not seen any accounts being published by the SRC. I'm also in level 400, staying in the same class. Tell us how you intend doing this. Will you make the accounts known to all the students or not? Thank you.
Thank you very much for the questions. I would like to take the first question, the first person who asked the question first. You made mention of if the president wants to do something which I think would not serve the best interest of the student. What will I do to ensure that that doesn't happen, right? All right. I think that we are an executive branch, and it is not only the president and the treasurer that makes decisions. We have the secretary, we have the coordinating secretary. We all sit, Jojo, and bring up with all the things that we think it is beneficial to us all. So if I think that what he is going to do would not serve the interest of the entire student, we are a team. We can usually vote. And if indeed that thing is not in the interest of all the students, I think that we would have the majority, and that thing would not happen. Thank you. To the second question, as I said, when I was the president of School of Business, it was my priority because I believe that it is the right of students to know what their monies are being used for. So there was not any time that I hesitated in bringing out what we are using their monies for to the general public. We have notice boards on all the halls, and even with what we are going to do, that is the election, the EC publishes their information on this notice board. And I said, now that the Constitution backs it, and I did it, I don't just talk about it, I did it when I was the School of Business president. Now that the Constitution backs it, I think that there is nothing which is going to prevent me from doing this. We have all these social media platforms. We have even our portal, which we can even project these financial things into. So I think that this would not be any big deal for me.
All right, thank you. Thank you. Let's clap for King Dave. Second on the ballot paper is Samuel Techi with the teaser smart. Let's clap for him.
Good afternoon, colleague student. The Transparency Manifesto to be read by Samuel Techi, an aspirant for UCC Src Treasurer for the 2020-2021 academic year. Now, Robert T. Kiyosaki once said, money without financial intelligence is money soon gone. Now, the relevance of this statement is to make us understand how financial resources need a well-qualified and experienced person who values resources, and through very effective and efficient management of funds, ensures transparency towards the people and recognizes the need for accountability to every single individual. These very tenets lie at the heart and soul of the SMART agenda, not just as empty talks, but as tenets to guide every single act of the service by myself to the student body when elected as UCC Src Treasurer. The chairperson, the panel, fellow aspirant, colleague, student, all protocols duly observed. My name is Samuel Techi, a final year Bachelor of Commerce, Procurement and Supply Chain Management student. Rallying with a teaser, Smart for UCC SRC Treasurer for the 2020-2021 academic year. It is with a deep sense of responsibility that I read this transparency manifesto to you. The chairperson, firstly on transparency and accountability. For a very long time, the average UCC student has been kept in the dark concerning financial transactions undertaken by the SRC, giving little to no information concerning how their money is being spent. For this reason, when elected, I would ensure the publishing of the SRC financial statement every semester and make it available to be accessed by the average UCC student. And for me, when I served as Casper Road Treasurer, this is something I always did. And you see, mostly we talk about publishing. It's not just about publishing. For my term as Casper Treasurer, I actually engage my student. I mean, even right from the onset, when the budget is being prepared, we engage students, we know what their input into whatever we are doing. So it's not just about publishing, but also reading to them to take their input. The chairperson, at the core tenant value for money. In my experience, while I served as treasurer for Kisleyford Hall during the 2019-2020 academic year, I've come to understand that getting funds is not the only problem, but spending and proper control of what is bought also matters a lot in maximizing the satisfaction of the average student. With this knowledge, I plan to ensure that the office of the treasurer would consciously educate and monitor colleague executives on the best ways to source, purchase, and manage resources and assets in pursuit of the recognition of value for money. Value for money is very, very important. It consists of buying what is needed and also maintenance right to the down, maintaining it to last for a very good period of time. Chairperson, finally, the need for financial literacy, we understand, is one key area that has been overlooked in the life of the average student and mostly left to the fate of the student themselves, which is why Team SMART promises to ensure that the office of the treasurer would engage financial literacy sections into SRC organized events and programs such as seminars, workshops, and webinars, amongst many others. All this with the aim of equipping the average UCC student with financial knowledge and education. The chairperson, fellow aspirant, and colleague executives, notice that at the center of the Smart Transparency Manifesto is the embodiment of the will and the interests of the average UCC student to be demonstrated through systems of value, accountability, and conscious transparency of all your financial transactions to be fulfilled by a person of experience after serving as Kisleyford or treasurer in the last academic year and finance committee member for the academic year before that. In recognition of this, I was nominated by the National Student Awards as the best treasurer for the year 2020. On the 8th of February, colleagues, choose SMART as your next UCC SRC treasurer. Choose number 2 on the ballot screen. Choose the interests of the average UCC student. God bless you all, and may we all be great.
Time up. Samuel Techi SMART, number 2 on the ballot paper. Place any question. Those of us entering, wear your nose mask properly, maintain the sitting arrangement. Don't just sit where you think it's okay for you. Let the ushers tell you where to sit. Any question for Samuel Techi? All right, okay. Oh, you have a question? Please come. Oh, there's a question.
Yeah, thank you for the wonderful presentation, Honorable Smatch. My question is very simple. The school has about thousands of students. You spoke of having a one-on-one interaction with students when it comes to presenting them with the budget issues and all that. How do you intend getting the student populace all together and making this effectively? Thank you.
All right, so thank you very much. Yes, you have a very good point, and I think currently that's one thing we are having battling with. I mean, organizing a program where you get all students is very difficult. But I believe that GA is an example of such a program where we can do that. I am not saying we will get everybody, but at least let's have input from students. Let them also feel part of what we are doing. That's all. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Samuel Techi, number 2 on the ballot paper. We don't have Papa. Those shouting, please wear your nose masks. I'm not preventing you from shouting, but wear the nose masks. Now it's okay, you've shouted enough. All right, so we don't have Papa Aquamensa here, so we move straight to Women's Commissioner. And the first on the ballot paper is Linda Apia. Linda Beba Grasetiza.
The chairperson, honorable timekeeper, electoral commissioner, and the commission, distinguished protocol, fellow aspirants, ladies and gentlemen. This document is the official manifesto presented by me, Linda Apia, a level 400 Bachelor of Commerce student reading finance. When elected into office, there are 4 main policies I shall implement to improve the commission and promote its role in students' livelihood, in addition to the mandated duties of the commission. The commission has its implemented roles, but I will implement and direct 4 categories, that is finance, coordination, corporate responsibility, and technology. The first policy to be elaborated is the establishment of proper financial structures that will build sponsorship for the commission programs and projects, scholarship for the female students, and talk on finance. The Female Needy Support Fund will be dubbed the HEMA Fund. This fund shall be a special one created by the Commission to solicit funds for well-to-do people and philanthropists to support UCC female students who have brilliant entrepreneurship skills but cannot fund it themselves due to lack of capital. This seminar shall be in 3 phases. The first phase shall be the exhibition. The first phase shall be training. The second phase shall be exhibition. And the third will be mentoring by students who are already entrepreneurs. In addition to the above will be the rebranding of the Women Empowerment Summit for Ladies in UCC. This seminar shall be mainly for the exploration and the enlightenment on the corporate world, potentials in the ladies, and equip them with skills for entrepreneurship. This seminar shall not be the normal motivational speaking one, but one which will have recruiters from all walks of the corporate world to select ladies from UCC for internship programs and secure prospective national service placements. Another relevant policy we shall implement together with a team in the commission, the local NUCs and the SLC, shall be the establishment of an IT club for ladies on campus. The main aim of the club shall be to equip ladies with Microsoft Office suites such as Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and new coding with Python. Over the years, the population of women inclined in IT to men is averagely low, and this has caused a gap in the competition between women and men on the job. This club shall be not just the normal, this club shall be a normal group of students, and they will have facilitated from UCC information technology experts and lecturers. The next policy I shall implement when voted into power shall be granting the male students the opportunity to become affiliates of the commission. Barack Obama said in his 2008 victory speech, and I quote and unquote, "Our stories may be singular, but our destination is shared. The commission is for women, but the realization of it is a collective effort by both male and female. Therefore, we need our gentlemen on board. They shall be duly recognized in the certification and honored at programs organized by the Commission. I believe in the inclusion of males. It's a tool for also for publication and consolidation of both sexes. This can go a long way in improving gender equality. In addition to the above proposal shall be the introduction of the Women's App, which will capture health issues of women, exhibition of vocational skills and personal skills, educational issues and psychological issues. Another step in promoting educational progress after university will be the introduction of the online program with certification, such as the Crossroad Emerging Leadership, which is a program organized by Harvard University.
A minute more.
African Science Academy and Monologue. As I was saying, the introduction of the Women App is also enable the students at the satellite, that's the INDUM, to also participate in WUCOM activities. The program helps individuals to learn about leadership and also to know how to go by their normal activities in the corporate world. I say, a vote for Linda Pia, a vote for Linda Beba, a vote for the lady in red will cause a massive change in the women force. Vote for number 1, Linda Beba. Vote for number 1 for a mark and a trace in the leadership role. Thank you, UCC.
Thank you, Linda, for working within time. Any question for Linda?
To every single individual.
Thank you for this opportunity. Most often with our WOCOM, whatever we most often hear from them is empowerment summits, you are teaching ladies entrepreneurship skills and other things. And when you take observation of these programs, you could see that most of the times if it's not teaching of Sobolo, it's teaching of some liquid soap making or something that generally the public teaches. You go to churches, they do. You go to other places, they do. So most of the times you come and the ladies actually don't patronize because it is something that has been done as a formality. What makes you think that your policies are actually what the ladies need? And if it's so, how will you convince the ladies who actually see these empowerment summits as a formality to patronize yours if you organize such programs?
Thank you, gentlemen. I always say, for the fact that there is a norm doesn't mean that the continuation of the norm is what you should expect in the coherent propositions. For the fact that every seminar in UCC has been about Sobolo, or it has been about tie and dyeing, doesn't mean that the coherent ones will be the same. I say, Linda Beba will be rebranding the Women Empowerment Summit. That is the introduction of how to be a leader as a lady. Second, how to take care of yourself with personal hygiene. The third one, we are not in normal times and we have to learn about entrepreneurship skills. Don't judge a book by its cover. Watch and see it happen. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Linda. Resume your seat. Please, as I said, there is nothing wrong with you screaming and giving all the fans. But those pulling down their nose masks before doing that, you will be taken out. Let's maintain the order, please. All right, so number 2, Women Commissioner. Abena Ejapoma Kumi Kosa. Mame Abena, number 2.
Shall we have some silence here? Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Good day, Chair, All protocol duly
Please
observed.
please hold on. Mami Abna, please hold on. Let's have some decorum. Please, equal platform for everybody. Cheer your person up. If the other person is talking and you have nothing to say, just keep quiet. Please.
Thank you. I am honored to be given this great opportunity to air my policies to the entire student body of UCC. I am Abuna Ejapoma Kumikosa, level 400 basic education student. I measure in English. I am an affiliate of Nkrumah Hall, the only big family on campus. I'm aspiring for local Nooks Women's Commissioner with teaser MAP now. My policies are categorized in 3 areas: advocacy, vocational technological development, and general welfare matters. Under the advocacy, the Commission is going to partner with the counseling unit, SEGRAT UCC, and other well-meaning groups to help the women population of the student folk. My administration, with the help of these outfits, will help ladies who are victims of sexual harassment cases and other gender-based violence to outlive their traumatic experiences. We will ensure that they do not live in fear whatsoever, and also will ensure they will have confidence to report cases should there be any. There's going to be periodic calls on hall counselors to provide academic and career counseling to hallers. There's going to be peer counseling centers where one could walk in and without any intimidation lodge their complaints, and we will attend to their complaints rapidly. Since all the ladies in the various SHS in and around Cape Coast are under this commission, there will be periodic visits to those schools with motivational speakers who would help mold their lives, especially on this era of pandemic, to ensure that their personal hygiene issues are well addressed, as well career counseling. Under the vocational training, my predecessor did a wonderful work by helping our ladies who avail themselves to be trained in batik making. In this era of pandemic, where hand sanitizers and floor sanitizers are the thing of the day, we will train our ladies in making sanitizers, preparation of fresh yogurt, and fascinator making to equip them for life. As a woman, you must be industrious in order to help family and the nation as a whole. There will be ICT training for all who would like to be trained and will be given certificates after training. My office will collaborate with the Gender, Children, and Social Protection Ministry and SEGRAT UCC to hold seminars on issues affecting our ladies on campus. We would particularly invite women of substance like our Pro-Vice Chancellor, former Vice Chancellor, and the like to share their life experiences to the ladies by way of motivating them to aspire for greater height. A welfare package will be there for brilliant but needy female students to help them have education in comfort. Again, a special attention will be given to our physically challenged colleagues. We will hold fora that will allow us to brainstorm on ways to meet their special needs. And believe me, we will deliver beyond expectation. There is an adage There is an adage that one who gives a lot of promises gives little. And so we will give the little that we can and do it well than to give a lot of empty promises. On this note, ladies and gentlemen, on the 8th of February 2021, I humbly urge you all to come out in your numbers and cast your vote for Mabuna as your next speaker. I am number 2 on your ballot screens. Welcome dear and Noane Mabuna. Thank you.
Thank you, Ma Abena. Please, any question? And please make the question brief, straight to the point, and then let's go.
Thanks for this opportunity. With your policy on vocational skills, you said your policies are 3, and the most important one I heard is vocational skills. What actually makes you think that our ladies on campus, UCC, actually, instead of needing technical skills and technological skills, actually needs vocational skills? Looking at the trends of the world, there is much need for people or ladies or people in technology. So instead of vocational skills and such skills, what makes you think that the ladies actually don't need further skills in technology training and other things as such?
Thank you, dear. Maybe you didn't listen well. I said we have vocational training as well as technological training. Under the vocational training, I stressed on the things that we are going to do. And then with the technological training, we'll have ICT training. And bet you people are doing a lot of entrepreneurship programs. But the technology and the style you use in producing whatever you want to do matters. Not anything at all. We are coming to do something that they could use as women. That is, women, we are going to let them have a holistic education so that they wouldn't fall short at any corner in their lives.
Thank you for this opportunity. So there are issues like women's solidarity, where in instances like Women's Week celebrations and the rest, you do not get women coming to support their fellow women. These are problems that needs to be addressed, and I've not seen any policies under your administration that you are going to implement this. So how do you make sure that women come together to support themselves? Because before we can thrive, there's a need for women's solidarity, coming together to support ourselves. And basically, we've just spoken about, your policies are around making soap and yogurt and the rest. How do you implement policies that ensure women's solidarity? Because we need to come together as women to get empowered.
Together with the Vice President, the SRC Vice President, we are going to create smaller groups in the various halls, whereby whenever there's a program, these women in charge will sensitize them so that they will be able to attend the programs. Thank you.
Thank you, Abena Ejapoma Kumbikosa, Ma Abena, number 2 on the ballot paper. Please let's observe this. The banners, the posters are all allowed in here, but not on the red carpet. And please, the noise must so let's get the noise right. Right, so we go to news. Okay, so we move to local news secretary. We have Amara Chukwu Okezi Ahianacho. Amara, number 1 on the ballot paper. Forgive me, I've not mentioned your name properly.
Elected as UCC Src. The chairman.
Madam Chairperson, colleague aspirants, Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. My name is Amara Chuku Okezie Ihenacho, known as Amara. I am a level 400 student studying hospitality management. Thank you. It's okay. Can you? I am a fellow royal of the Adishi Hall. Here is my mission as I contest for this office. An Amara-led local NUC secretariat to make vital information available and accessible to students at the right time. I will make NUC's UCC popular and attractive to students. I also intend to create an environment where the voice of the ordinary students will be heard. In order to achieve this, I intend to implement the following policies. My policies aim at organization, coordination, and dissemination of information to efficiently and effectively work towards the mission. Amara will use modern technology like the email, pen drive, and Google Drive in the documentation of files and records for the Secretariat so that in my absence, subsequent secretaries can have easy access and retrieve important data for the progress of the Union. In addition, the local NUC Secretariat will purchase an external hard disk drive to augment our efforts at the storage of documents. If you vote Amara as your next local NUC Secretary, I intend to work hand in hand with the President and the other executives, assign committees to the various halls to help with the publicity of upcoming NUC's programs. I believe this would improve attendance and also give students the opportunity to air their concerns to the NUC's executives. I will also perform duties assigned to me by the President. I also intend to circulate relevant information and excerpts pertaining to NUCs on social media so that students get to know more about NUCs on campus. Fellow students, I want to take secretaryship beyond just the writing of minutes, so I have as the motto of my agenda, beyond the ink. To say beyond the ink means that I intend to demonstrate through writing, as Chinua Achebe said, that the pen is indeed mightier than the sword. Students' grievances concerning student loans and passports will be addressed through effective writing. I promise to be a channel through which the voice of the students of UCC will be heard. Fellow students, let us remember that beyond policies and campaigns, this is our opportunity to make our voices heard at any decision-making level in the university. Let us get together, come out in our numbers, and vote for Amara, the right candidate that has the required competence to deliver. Remember to stay safe. COVID is real. Mask up. Amara needs you alive to vote on Monday, 8 February 2021. I believe in you, dear fellow students. May God bless you and may God bless the University of Cape Coast. Trust Amara. Number one, Amara is the right choice. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You made it in time. Please, any question? Any question? Thank you so much. So we have Petrina Mensah with the teaser Trina number 2 on the ballot paper for local NUC secretary.
Manifesto delivered by Petrina Mensah, an aspirant for local NUC secretary on the 3rd of February 2021. The chair, distinguished staff members, co-aspirants, fellow students, ladies and gentlemen, I greet you all. I want to start by thanking management for giving me the opportunity to express my intention of taking up the local NUC secretariat position. Having gone 3 years through our noble institution, I'm conversant with the fact that most students do not know local nooks and what it entails. Ladies and gentlemen, I am not aspiring to be the secretary out of mere ambition, but of several reasons which I stand here to present to you all today. I believe my exquisite leadership, such as planning, organizing, directing, and controlling, renders me the best fit for the aforementioned position. I believe strongly in the experience I've gained that in bridging the gap between nooks and students, involvement is key. So, the question now is, how do I get the students involved? Positioning, just as applied in marketing, will be very essential in such regards. Hence, in designing nooks messages and information, I will make sure they are appealing to students and that they communicate the intended messages. Also, I will make sure all nooks communicate best the logo of the union in legible characters. This, I believe, will distinguish messages disseminated by the union from that of other unions. In so doing, our messages can get to students and the intended purpose will be served at the end. Another objective I plan to achieve is to help local nooks gain the trust and confidence of students. This is very dear to my heart. That is why I have Fair Secretariat for Accountability as my motto. I plan on achieving this by writing administrative reports monthly to inform my colleagues of what transpires in the month under my term if voted into power. Having delivered such reports to our students through the various social media platforms, as well as on the notice boards, most people will have an insight of what transpires in the union and will therefore have reasons to air their views. I am very objective about getting the students involved in the activities of local nooks, as mentioned earlier, because I believe it is through their opinions that we can well satisfy their needs. If voted into power, I promise to apply the managerial practices in helping our president and the other executives of the union to carry out their policies and duties timely and efficiently. I'm determined to contribute my time and energy to create positive changes that students want to see. These are just but a few of the things I plan bringing on board, if you give me the opportunity to serve you as I have always wanted to. At this point, I will plead with you all to support me with your vote in this race, which I cannot finish without your push. Mother Teresa once said,
1 minute more.
I alone cannot change the world, but I can cast a stone across the water to create many ripples. As I bring my manifesto to an end, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to encourage each and every one of us to go to the polls on the 8th of February to vote for Trina as our next UCC local NUC secretary. Number 2 on the ballot screen. Thank you.
That is Patrina Mensa with the teaser Trina number 2 on the ballot paper. Any question? Any question? All right. Thank you so much. Trina, resume your seat. So we still want to remind ourselves that we're screening this live on Facebook and on YouTube. And the account for YouTube is TV UCC. Facebook, the same thing, TV UCC. We move to local NUC's president. And we have Francis Achema with a teaser, Good Luck 20, number 1 on the ballot paper.
Good afternoon, fellow students of UCC. A manifesto.
Please, there's someone on the floor.
Good afternoon, fellow students of UCC. A manifesto by Francis Achema, a BSc Actuarial Science student of this university, and an aspirant for the UCC local NUCS president. The chairperson, fellow aspirant, students, ladies and gentlemen, I greet you all. I feel highly honored and privileged to stand before you this afternoon to deliver my campaign message, coined in the manifesto of the Manifesto of Change, the good students of this university. I bring you a summary of the policies I intend to implement when I'm given the chance to lead the student front as a local NUCS president. And they are in 6 main categories. That is 1, restructure NUCS. 2, academics. 3, student loan trust fund. 4, student protection security. 5, corporate social responsibility. And then 6, personal and career development. In the area of restructuring NUCS, NUCS, as we know, stands for National Union of Ghana Students. Unfortunately, in this university, many students on campus don't know of NUCS. Sometimes you move to students and you speak to them and they'll ask you, are you asking me to come and join your church? And that is something our students in this university we shouldn't be going through. As such, good luck is saying that when I'm given the chance, we are going to appoint local NUCS reps in the various halls so that when level 100s are admitted, during the whole week orientation, the local NUCS reps in the various halls will be given the chance to speak to others on the workings of NUCS and how you can actually contact them for assistance when there's a need to do so. In the area of academics, it is the dream of every student in this university to achieve academic excellence. To ensure that NUCS UCC plays its part in ensuring academic excellence among the students in this university, we intend to advocate strongly in collaboration with other executives in this university for the part payment of school fees to be made a binding policy on management. That at the beginning of the first semester, any student who is able to pay up to 50% of his or her school fees should be allowed to register his or her courses for the semester. Also in academics, Good Luck intends to search and obtain scholarship opportunities for students on campus and will also guide them in the application process. In the area of student loan trust fund, the purpose for the establishment of the student loan trust fund was to provide timely financial support to students in need. Unfortunately, that hasn't been the case in recent years, as many students on the fund struggle to get money to pay their fees and sometimes to survive on campus. To help reverse this situation, Good Luck will collaborate with other local NUCS executives across the country, advocate for timely release of monies to those under the student loan, so that it can aid in the payment of their school fees and also to help them survive on campus. Also on the student loan trust fund, Good Luck intends to establish a fund to be named the local NUCS emergency fund. And monies for this fund will be raised through the numerous programs we intend to organize. And that is going to be used in case those under the student loan trust fund, their monies are not paid to them on time, and there is a need for them to pay a certain amount of money before they can register for their courses. We'll pay money from that fund and help them pay for their school fees, so that when their loan money is paid back to them, they'll bring the money back and will put it into the fund. They are going to pay that with no interest. In the area of student comfort, security, and protection, to ensure a conducive, healthy, and comfortable environment for students to undergo their daily activities on campus, I would advocate, in collaboration with other executives, for proper maintenance of our lecture hall. So anytime there are broken chairs in the lecture hall, the maintenance committee will follow up and do the right thing, so that students can always get enough chairs to sit in our lecture hall and have the chairs comfortably. Personal and career development. In the area of personal and career development, I intend to work with other units in the university to create a conducive environment for the discovery and development of talents in the university. We also intend to organize programs to train people in acquiring some basic skills in areas such as ICT and the production of some basic commodities like yogurt and soap. corporate social responsibility. As a body that operates within a larger community, we intend to make our presence felt not only by the students of this university, but the entire Cape Coast metropolis. To do this, we intend to organize visiting programs to some selected schools within the Cape Coast metropolis. During those visits, we also intend to share educational materials like books, pens, and pencils to some students in the various basic and senior high schools within the Cape Coast metropolis. College students, we are all aware of the challenges that we face in this university. We've talked about them for years. What prevents us from solving those challenges has never been the absence of policies or sensible plans. Rather, it has been the failure of leadership. That is why there is a need for change. Fellow students, I am Goodluck Achema, aspiring for local NUCS president. Good luck is number 1 on the ballot screen. I believe that on the 8th of this month, we'll all come out in our numbers and vote Goodluck as the local NUCS president. Good luck is number 1 for local NUCS president. And together, we'll deliver the change we need in this university. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Francis Achima. Good luck 20, number 1 on the ballot paper for local NUCS president. For the presidents, the chairperson says we should allow maximum of 3 questions. So anybody having a question for Francis to come forward. Please, the question should be straightforward. If there is any other person, please come forward.
Thank you for this opportunity. You made mention of you ensuring that part payment of fees are made compulsory or are made a matter of convention. As a NUCS president, in what official capacity do you have? We all know that you will not be part of the governing council. So in what official capacity do you have to ensure that such a policy becomes a reality? And is it not conflicting in the duty of the SRC president for you to promise of such, to make such a promise? Yeah.
All right, thank you very much for the question. As I made mention in the presentation, I said I will, in collaboration with other executives in the university. Now we have the SRC, and the local NUCS is part of the SRC structure. So I'm not going to do it alone as a local NUCS president. I'll collaborate with other executives for it to advocate for that to be done. Now, as an executive elected in this university, you have the mandate of the student body in this university, and you can advocate for things to be done to the benefit of students, and that is what I intend to do. Thank you.
Right, thank you, Francis. Please resume your seat. Number 2 on the ballot paper, Nana Kwesi Bediako Ampao. Nana K. Please don't step on the red carpet. You are taking his time.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I greet you all. The victory lap in 7 minutes. I know you have dreams of better conditions, a better union. Many a time, the better we get is not the better we ask for. Nevertheless, we have survived the years hoping that someday we will be served our order. My name is Nana Kwesi Bediako Ampa. Nana K, if you would like. I'm a final year student reading Become Management, and I ask your permission to serve as president of NUCS UCC come this academic year. Chairman, all protocol duly observed. While it is general knowledge that central to the business of unions and associations are the 2 primary conventions of collecting levies and organizing programs, these are all to believe to help members. I remain fundamentally convinced that there's more to the union, our union, than we have come to know. In the next 5 minutes, I'll be highlighting the extensive purpose of the local NUCS office in 3 dimensions: academics,
welfare, and governance, as well as ways to explore the expanse. Beginning with academics, I intend my engagement in the academic lives of students to be more along the lines of a psychological intervention and the provision of material and practical assistance. Therefore, under the Feel Free initiative, this campaign intends to petition the university's management to recalibrate the counseling service to encourage students to willingly come out with all matters such as academic problems, sexual issues, and everything that may breed discomfort, and seek professional assistance on how to manage them. I believe this will better position people to serve their primary reason for seeking admission into this university. Colleagues, I am a firm believer in constant exploration and acquisition of skills, and it is general knowledge how useful abilities in entrepreneurship and IT can be in this day and age. I cannot tell you how glad I am to tell you that the Victory Lab campaign is brewing a chain of training seminars and events dubbed the Toolkit series, a range of scheduled encounters with well-versed resource personnel who will be contacted to adequately train, advise, and inform students who are willing to learn or begin a trade, as well as acquire applicable IT skills for potential jobs in the future. Certificates would also be provided to all who patronize this series. Also, under a platform called Bridges, we shall represent students in securing internship opportunities in their firms and organizations of preference. This intervention is already carried out for some students by their departments. An example is the School of Business. However, our focus is hence going to be on those students who are not in such departments, so we can achieve for students a balanced degree of interventions to ensure their academic welfare. Internships are important in ensuring that students gain the needed work experience required to go into the job market after school. Speaking of welfare, meet Capture, the annual facilitation program by the local Ucc Secretariat, where documentation and registration for national credentials like SNIT numbers, tax ID numbers, and passports would be organized under even better conditions. Capture will be a month-long decentralized data collection program where students can register for these documents in the comfort of their homes. I believe that this idea would best prevent the usual cluster of people we have been expecting around the Parliament grounds during the episodes of the previous activities. Allow me to propose as well the student shift policy, a facility that effectively allows students to take up part-time jobs in certain sections of the university which do not require much of a skill set. If we are able to achieve this with the help from the university management, I believe students could support themselves with the little money they can make out of taking shifts on temporary paid jobs like in the library management or the Porter's Lodge. Pardon my hubris, ladies and gentlemen, but it has always been my personal desire to champion well-spirited philanthropy. I personally believe that in all the business of administration, our union should have an eye for people who, in a way or another, find difficulty in making ends meet. My campaign is currently engineering a joint enterprise called My Brother's Keeper Alliance, a potential association of charity and philanthropic groups whose basic purpose would be to reach out with such people with basic amenities while constantly devising ways to lessen the magnitude of their struggle. Fellow students, allow me to propose to you the creation of the NUCS Rep Committee. This is going to be a collective of students who will serve as reps for our union in every academic department or faculty. This would ensure that our union has eyes on the grounds as well as providing easy access from our students to our union. There will also be representatives for our disability students because our agenda is an all-inclusive agenda. During the yearly week of celebrations and entertainment by the local NUCS office, we plan to engage students from junior and senior high schools alike in a springboard conference which would be held on UCC campus, where students would be given a feel of what it is to strive for what they believe in as they go through this level of education. The conference will most likely have lecturers and students of this university speak to and mentor the young people to work even harder to receive higher education and to help them in whatever plans they have in their life. Chairman, the house. The story was recently told of a young American who lived his life building his community one brick at a time. Emias urged hope throughout Slauson, Crenshaw, Los Angeles, doing all kinds of charitable work, social work, until his death a few years ago. The highlights of his story were many, but his family and the world's reaction to his death was summed up in one phrase: the marathon continues. It strikes a chord. It tells us one thing, that wherever the struggle ends for any of us, the younger generation must be incited to keep up the torch, to press on the upward way, the Nanake way. Nanake is number 2 on the ballot screen. On the 8th of February, kindly vote Nanake as your next local NUCS president for the empowerment of the students front. Thank you very much and have a wonderful day.
Thank you. Nana Kwesi Bedi Akwampa, Nana K, number 2 on the ballot paper. Any question?
For the 2020.
Thanks again for this opportunity. You made mention of internship collaboration with departments, and you made mention of some examples like the UCAPs and other science departments. What did you see about UCAPs that enables them, or what is it that UCAPs is doing different that you have identified that the other departments aren't doing to create internship opportunities for their students? And what do you intend in your official capacity as NUCS president to help make sure that those other departments that aren't giving opportunities in internship for their students will do so?
Thank you, my brother, for that question. Now, myself being a business student, what the School of Business does is that, and all other business students will attest to the fact, they will tell you to bring 2 addresses. And with those 2 addresses, when you bring them, they are going to draft the letter for you. This is different from the situation where you as a student are going to draft your own letter. The School of Business will draft the letter for you and give it to you to go and submit. However, we want to take it upon ourselves to also draft the letter for you, but then we also submit your letters for you. With the National Union of Ghana Students as our emblem, we have the connections with so many organizations, because these are the same organizations who have been helping us throughout the past year. So we would lobby for slots for our students, so that rest assured, you, the students registering with us, you will be given an internship job. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nana K. Number 2 on the ballot board, Nana Kwesi Bedi Akwampa. Salihu says his Said is not in our midst. Nathaniel MD Isahaku has also withdrawn. So Salihu is number 3. Nathaniel has withdrawn from the race. And so we have Alensada Osei, possible, now becoming number 4 on the ballot paper. Let's clap for Alexander Osei. Teaser, possible, now number 4 on the ballot paper.
Good afternoon, colleagues. As a visionary leader, I have actually provided the details of my policies here. All my policies have been detailed, the structure to them, they are available. So if you need them, I can provide you before I leave here. All of them are here. Thank you for that. The chair, senior members present, colleague aspirants, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols are duly observed. I must say that the convention of our politics, the influence of our looks and physique, friendship and affiliations, the promise of our substance should be ruled by the mindset of making the impossibilities possible. My name is Alexander Osei Kwame, possible. And here I come with the mind and the dings of possibilities, the promise of a restructured local news and making it more relevant than before. And who said it is not possible? Strategically, my policies have been arranged in a 4-4-2 formation, of which defense is very tight and the striking force is seriously dangerous. Relax and take a sip of water while I unfold them unto you. From the conspectors, I'll be addressing issues concerning welfare, academics, and self-development. Now, within the scope of welfare, Possible's administration will create support fund to assist students who are in need. This support fund will only serve as a top-up for students who have been able to raise part of their fees and have no hope to get a remnant. Possible's local news administration will also collaborate with SRC in order to provide data SIM, which is subject to free on-net course and monthly renewal to students, unlike the others who significantly become nil as soon as students leave campus. And I know that this will reduce the spending of students and also increase their revenue at hand. Again, there will be creation of scholarship opportunities for students. Now, when I completed SHS, I emerged as the overall best student, adding up to my honor as the overall best JHS student. Yet, it took me 4 years in the house. It took only the intervention of a US organization before I was able to come to school. And thereby I know that scholarship in education is inevitable. Bringing on birth cert registration to students' doorstep with friendly price, and also organize online passport registration training for students to assist them to be able to apply for passport on their own will also be made relevant on the platform on the campus. Now, hitting the head of academics with a hammer, Possible's administration is going to provide TAs with some of the students. Yes, that one. Possible's administration is going to provide TAs and some of the students who are well equipped with some of incentives so that they can help students with some of the disturbing courses. In fact, this part is so dear to me. My administration is also going to solicit for avenues for education students for them to do their off-campus, and also for non-education students for them to do their internship or attachments. If I'm given a slot, Possible Led will work hand in hand with the Center for International Education so that students will see the relevance of the exchange program on campus. Now, within this, looking into the telescope of the last category of my manifesto, in order to dissect its components, I would like to name it self-empowerment or development. Under my administration as the local news president, I will collaborate with the SRC in order to make driving school and driving licenses a reality and very active on campus. Possible's administration will endeavor to empower students with entrepreneurial skills by giving them the necessary support for them to make their ideas a reality. As you can see, Possible is an entrepreneur. The chair, senior members present, colleague aspirants, fellow students, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols are humbly observed. I humbly respect you enough to desist from clapping when I know I don't have hands, or beating the drum of a dance I can never dance to, because I'm very meticulous about the concept of life, which stands to reason that whatsoever a man sow, so shall he reap. This is the reason why I call to the attention of the whole students' populace to trust Mr. Possible, who is number 5 on the ballot screen, while he is about making the impossibilities possible, and who said it is not possible. Now, according to income tax law, Act 2015 at 896, it says that if a person is applying for a job and the person already knows how to drive and is coming with a driving license, the person has to be given 1, preferential, 2, competitive, and 3, comparative advantage over the rest. And that is why it is very important as a student that by the time you be living here, you already know how to drive. And you be living here also with your driving license. And that is why I am hitting that point, that introduction of driving school and driving license on campus is very important. Once again, my name is Possible, number 5 on the ballot screen. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Possible Alexander Osei. Let me reiterate that Possible, please pay attention, that Nathaniel M.D. Isahaku, who was number 4 on the ballot paper, has withdrawn. And so you are coming to number 4. So please have that in mind.
So if you know me, you can come to me.
Any question for Possible?
Hello. Please, I'm very sorry. The number 4 they are talking about, my fans, once we are here, they are sure that number 5. That is what we know. They have not issued any official information to me. So number 5 is what Possible is. Thank you for that.
Qualified and experienced.
Possible. Thank you very much for the presentation. I'm much interested. Thank you very much for your presentation. Much interested in your scholarship. Yeah, I'm much interested with your scholarship scheme. You know, most students as of now have not paid their school fees. So when it comes to issues of scholarship, I take keen interest in that. Now, assuming without admitting, you don't win the election, come 8, assuming without admitting you don't win, what can you still do to help students who are brilliant but needy, that you think you can lobby to help them get scholarship? Thank you.
All right. Thank you for that. Now, per the structure I have here, I said that as a U.S. non-governmental organization scholarship beneficiary, right? Now, I'm a scholarship wizard, yes. And I have a lot of scholarship opportunities on board. Right now, I'm a scholar from WMI. You can take that part. They have opened the forms. It is even ongoing. Yes, I'm their ambassador for Ghana. Yes. Now, Wells Mountain Initiative, WMI, www.Wells Mountain Initiative. Now, there are a lot of scholarship opportunities. If whether I win or I don't win, I have it in mind that once I am delighted in helping students, I'll make them available. Even as I have not come into power, when I go on campaigns, I make them available. And that is what I even just did. I hope it makes sense. God bless you for that.
Good afternoon, Mr. Possible. You've spoken a lot. I've listened to your manifesto with keen interest. You and Naki. When Achiri was the president, he did a lot to help the Student Loan Trust Fund. We worry him a lot. Now, I know a lot of students are on, and if you can recall, if Achiri is here, he can bear me in mind that we worry him a lot, and he did his best to solve a lot of problems concerning student loan. But I know your office that that is I know the student loan, when there is a problem, it is in your mandate to solve it. And a lot of students, they have not paid their school fees now. So when the mantle falls on you, coming February, how are you going to solve that problem for the students? Thank you.
All right, thank you for that. Now, there is one thing that I want to put across. One policy that I structured concerning the support fund. We have level 1, level 2, and level 3. Listen to me carefully. Level 1 is a scholarship. Level 2 scholarship is for students who cannot pay their fees at all. Level 2 is support fund that I made mention. A portion of the budget of local news budget can be set aside. I hope it makes sense. To top up for students who have been able to get something and now waiting for the remnant. I hope it makes sense. That is level 2 of the support. Now level 3 support is the student's loan. Yes. Now the student's loan, we all know that one, it is actually the hands of the national. However, as a president, we must not sit down. We have to push as far as we can the secretariat in order to, push those who are in control of the students' loan on top, so that those people can speed up the process. I hope it makes sense. Nice one. So, notwithstanding, I want to answer and also correct something, that the local news president is not the one in charge of the students' loan. Please. It is the news, that is the national. However, as a leader, you can't sit down. You have to make sure that you're putting the person. Right now, even the news, the aspirant, the one who's aspiring, in some personal relation. I'm trying to build the link so that sometimes when it comes like that, yes, you can push them. I hope it makes sense. So the first one, if the students loan,
I think the question has been answered. Next question.
So, okay.
Thank you, the chair and the house. Mr. Possible, good afternoon. Concerning the academic aspect, you did mention of the academic aspect of your manifesto. Academics. You did mention of students as TAs and incentives for such students and TAs and incentives for such people. Now, my question to you is, you and I and the student body here would believe that there are certain courses in this university or in our various programs that it is very key, and it sometimes deals with the lecturers and very well equipped people to teach such things. Now, if you would want to use a student, let's say a final year student, to teach such topic, how sure are we that such a person would make it and will not conflict what the teacher is saying? Concerning the incentives too, where are we getting these monies from? Because sometimes the local NUCs actually struggles with budget and other finances for their programs. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Now, I made mention of well-equipped students. Yes, actually, I'm not a TA and I'm not a lecturer, but I've been teaching com skills and economics for the past 4 years. Now, we are all much aware that economics is one of the disturbing courses, but I've been teaching it for the past 4 years. Now, if a student, that is why I captured something here. Possible the administration is going to provide TAs and some of the students who are well equipped. So the well equipped is underlined. Students who can teach the courses so well for the students to understand. I hope it makes sense. Yes, if they are in level 400 and they cannot teach, how can they become TAs? when they are done with school. I hope it makes sense. So the underlying word here is people who are well equipped. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Alexander Osei. Possible, your number 5 is maintained. So you are number 5 on the ballot paper. It's maintained. All right, so we move to the SRC president. Every aspirant, the team has 7 minutes and 3 questions for each person. Anybody coming to ask a question, you have maximum of a minute to ask your question. And the respondent will have 2 minutes to answer a question, maximum. Please, don't take advantage of it to do another campaign or giving us a message. Go straight, answer the questions that you've been asked. Number 1 on the ballot paper for SRC president, Sadiq Anyandiba Inusa and Matilda Yankee. With the teaser, Ayandiba.
Good afternoon, colleagues. Good afternoon. Chair, members of the Electoral Commission, college students, duly observed. My name is Anyandeba. Hello. My name is Anyandeba Inusa Sadiq, a teacher by profession, an affiliate of the Great Atlantic Hall, and a communication studies student. And my running mate is
Matilda Yankee, a level 400 student reading Bachelor of Arts, English and History, and an affiliate of Varco Hall.
The chair. Our manifesto is dubbed the Sharp Agenda. And prominent among the Sharp Agenda is reintroduction of the free shuttle services, concretizing issues that borders on part payment of school fees, and intensifying security in the diaspora. Now to security. A Yandema-led administration shall fix and repair street lights along major dark roads. For instance, SRC Road, Sasakawa Casford Road, and some other parts of the diaspora. We would engage management to frequently clear bushes along major routes. The SRC, in collaboration with management, will engage the Regional Police Command to intensify police visibility within campus. This will include planting checkpoints at security flash points. Moreover, our administration will donate motorbikes and other logistics to the security section for night patrols and also cover diaspora in such patrols. Within the diaspora, our team will reignite the watchdog or the volunteer groups to patrol and protect students' lives and properties. This will be between 7 p.m. to 5 a.m. each day. Again, we shall liaise with management, hostel owners, and rent control to make it mandatory for all hostels to have security men. The team shall form a student security escort, which will largely include the Student Cadet Corps to escort students to their hostels during examination period.
Under our governance, we will establish a compliance unit situated at Parliament for students to have their grievances dealt with. We shall institute a program called Time with the President for easy accessibility of the president. This will offer the chance to students to interact with the president. Again, the SRC shall seek the immediate approval of the SRC constitution from the academic board for onward usage. Under academics, the cumbersome nature of rectifying ICs will be aggressively pursued under our leadership. SRC will have an academic compliance unit situated at Parliament for students to report their academic challenges through the head of the academic committee. We shall liaise with teaching assistants to organize tutorials for research. Past questions on special courses that are solved will be made available by SRC. Again, SRC will continue with the agenda, better lecture theater, by ensuring that projectors, microphones, and sockets are always in good shape. Also, we shall renovate and ensure that our summer hats are conducive for studies. We will collaborate with management to extend Wi-Fi coverage to the diaspora and improve the effectiveness of the MiFi. Under health, the SRC will lobby for a separate consulting room for students to ease joining long queues. We will intervene to pay medical bills for students who are asked to pay. SRC will then take receipts for refund from management other than letting the students pay and later seeking refund by themselves. The SRC will also collaborate with management to properly stock the infirmaries with drugs and personnel. Again, our leadership will enforce that the school ambulance services effectively cover the diaspora.
Now to welfare. The reintroduction of the free shuttle services still remain our #1 priority. Ayandeba, when elected, will use part of our SRC dues to fund the free shuttle services. Again, we would engage the students at GS to seek their consent to use our canteen levies that still lingers in our school fee schedule as another source of funds for the free shuttle services. However, if the students are no longer interested in the reintroduction of the free shuttle services, then Team Anyandeba would advocate for refunds for that component of the school fees. Team Anyandeba would dreadfully insist on the solidification of the 60% part payment initiated by the Sir John-led administration. SRC would vouch for students who do not have up to 60% to register. We will ensure the prompt procurement and distribution of souvenirs, which will be done by the JCRC instead of management. In the short term, SRC will engage management and rent control to address the anomalies at our hostels, because by law, all hostels must be registered by the Rent Control and Housing Committee. This measure will regulate the prices of our hostels. SRC will also engage landlords to determine the conditions under which rent could be increased. This will help blacklist uncompromising hostels. To our physically challenged colleagues, we shall negotiate for prompt allocation of rooms in halls that are disability friendly for them. Vote Team Ayandeba for SRC president. We are #1 on the ballot screen. Vote for the reintroduction of the free shuttle services. Vote for 60% part payment of school fees. Vote for the intensification of security in the diaspora. And lastly,
time up.
Vote for someone who has got the testimony to tell management what needs to be said.
Up.
Thank you very much.
Time up. Please, those of us who have questions, first three. Okay. Please, regardless of the excitement and all that, let's still know we are in the COVID era, and it's important to observe the protocols. Please space out, and those of us moving with the banners, make sure you are not so close to each other, please. Wear your nose masks, don't be dropping them.
All right, thank you so much, your chair. Ayandeba, I think it's very pertinent for us to ask this question. My question is 3 in 1, just as UCC normally do with their questions.
One question, please.
Okay. All right. I want to find out if you could kindly again highlight to us how you are going to fund these free shuttle services. Again, I also
It's okay.
want that.
That's okay. One question. That's okay. The next person. Let's take the 3 questions.
Okay, good afternoon. It seems the free shuttle is your major policy, your flagship policy. Now, the thing is, how many buses do we have? And even if there are many, look at the number of students, the buses to students ratio. What is it? Now, looking at the current situation we are in, which is the COVID era, are you sure this free shuttle system, which we all would want to patronize, wouldn't cause so much problems for the student's body? So that is my question.
Please, good afternoon. Please, my question is in regards to the free shuttle. Please, what amounted to its cancellation? Amounted to its cancellation.
Thank you very much. The first question has to do with the source of funds. We all pay SRC dues. And Team Ayandeba wants each and every student to be part of the spending of the SRC dues. We want to know where our monies are usually going to. So it is for that reason that we think it is proper for us to use our own SRC dues to foot the bills of the free shuttle services. Again, like I mentioned, the SRC canteen dues that we paid, it still lingers in our school fee schedule. It is part of the pool of resources that the SRC has. So if Anyandeba is given the chance, we would make sure that the canteen levy is used for this project, because no student has ever been refunded. The dues has never been refunded to anybody. The canteen dues. Who in this lecture theater has received his or her canteen dues? So the question is, where is the money? We would dreadfully advocate for that funds to use it to foot the bills of the free shuttle services. Okay. The number of buses for continuous students, that is 300 and 400. You realize that the Sir John-led administration, before they left, the buses were 7. But our number has increased. So proportionally, the SRC dues has also what? Increased. So we would think between 7 buses and 10 buses. Because if we succeed in getting that canteen levy, we will add it to it. Now, considering COVID, in the midst of COVID, we would use the security to make sure that there's strict adherence of all the COVID protocols before one is allowed into the bus. Then the last one has to do with the cancellation of the shuttle services. Beautiful. I think when we came in 1100, a little history will suffice. When we came in 1100, the then SRC president, Tony Henry Arthur, instituted it with 4 buses. When he left office, his successor, Sir John Kodo, advocated for an increase in the number, and he succeeded in getting 3 other buses in addition to the 4 buses, getting us 7 buses. But however, for certain reasons, the Zaki-led administration cancelled it. I think for 2 possibilities. Either he was sleeping on his job, or he lacked the courage to push for that cause. Team Ayandaba is saying, if given the chance, inshallah, we will reintroduce the free shuttle services. Thank you very much. All right. Team Ayandiba, Sadiq Ayandiba Inusa, and Matilda Yankee. Number 1 on the ballot paper. Number 2 on the ballot paper, Edward Gordon.
and Eugenia Efia Opare, with the teaser Gordon. Space out and wear your nose masks. Wear your nose masks.
Thank you very much. Thank you very
Your
much.
time is moving, so you can continue.
Colleagues, students, let me use this opportunity to reiterate that the strongest factor for success is self-esteem. Believing you can do it, believing you deserve it, and believing you will get it. The chairperson of the Electoral Commission, colleague aspirants, all protocols duly acknowledged. Good afternoon. I am Edward Gordon, a level 400 Bachelor of Law student, an affiliate of Barco Hall, and an alumnus of the great Keslieford Empire. With me here is
Eugenia Efia Opare, a BA Social Sciences student and an affiliate of Ogwa Hall.
Together, we present to you the Believers Manifesto. Folks, it is trite knowledge that many are the challenges that confront us as students of the University of Cape Coast, and same needs leadership that goes beyond the rhetorics. Our administration is committed to the cause of students. During our campaigns, we've come to you in your lecture theaters, your halls of residence, and your hostels. And through that, we have been able to come up with policies along 8 thematic lines. But for the purposes of this presentation, we shall make presentation on 6 of them, namely academics, security, accommodation, transportation, student welfare, health, and sanitation. On the question of academics, colleague students, a good classroom environment and its accessory equipment has a great impact on teaching and learning. The Gordon-led administration shall liaise with management to ensure a rigorous installation of public address systems and projectors where none existed, while we continue to repair the ones that are faulty. We shall also take a keen look at furniture and the state of ventilation in our lecture theaters. Under the Gordon-led administration, there will be a total abrogation of done quizzes. We shall provide data SIM for students to enhance internet connectivity, especially at this period that students will be going at 70% online lectures. We shall engage in the rehabilitation of damaged summer huts. We shall also put up some study pavilions specifically for the SRC hall where only one exists. We shall advocate for the publication of our lecture timetables in our student portal or other online platforms. To promote academic excellence, the Gordon-led administration shall collaborate with management to monumentalize the name of the overall best students for each academic year and also encourage the Dean's Awards across all programs. On the question of security, colleague students, issues of security continue to be a storage problem that affects our students and members of the university community. The happenings of 13th October 2020 is a wake-up call for the students of the university to work together with management to put up measures to curb problems in relation to security on campus. The Gordon-led administration shall collaborate with the security section and the Committee of Heirs and Hostels in the hall and on campus to advocate for the university to extend the installation of CCTV cameras to lecture areas and some vantage points on campus. We shall advocate for the installation of street lights at some vantage points on campus where they are needed. In the diaspora, we shall ensure that hostel owners have security guards at their hostels. We shall advocate for the increase of police and security visibility on campus, especially at night. We shall strengthen the activities of the community watchdogs. We shall make available the contact of security session to students. We shall educate students on the need for personal security at all times. on accommodation. We shall advocate for the collaboration between management, landlords, and landladies to address issues of rent in compliance with the Rent Act. I am very much aware as a law student that the Rent Act 1963 at 220 does not determine the price that a landlord or a landlady should charge, but rather what it seeks for is value for money. And the judgment in Dichi versus Amin Sangari is clear on the matter. On the issue of transport, the truth stands. Colleague students, transportation has been an issue of controversy on campus. Students have had to wait in long buses for them to get through before it moves, which results in lateness for lectures and sometimes quizzes. The findings of the Haddock Committee on Transportation on Campus is to the effect that the free shuttle policy is not sustainable. And said has left the SRC with debt and an ongoing court litigation with HM Guafu. And during the COVID break, I, as the former Chief Justice of Ucc Src, took the pain to represent the SRC in court. The Colon-led administration shall ensure that students continue to enjoy quality and subsidized shuttle service. We shall advocate for increase in shuttle buses and extend shuttle operations to the Sandwich Letter Theatre, popularly known as Shatawale, and other populated diaspora communities. We shall advocate for the completion of the SWLT road. We shall make arrangements for the transportation of students to their various destinations on campus and put in place strategies for the attainment of the free shuttle policy, which will be a key feature in the 10-year strategic plan to be drawn by the Gordon-led administration.
The welfare.
1 minute more. A minute more.
The welfare of students is the supreme interest of the SRC. That is why the Gordon-led administration shall advocate for the publication of the breakdown of our school fees in our student portal. We shall liaise with management to make the part payment of school fees a policy. To buttress this point, I am sure some of us here are aware of the welcoming news from the Directorate of Finance just yesterday saying that students who have made 70% payments of their school fees can go on and do their registration. Our brothers and sisters who are visually impaired are not left out. We shall see that additional reading breaks are provided to them. We shall also improve upon our disability-friendly facilitating activities. Our brothers and sisters at the Indum School of Business will also not be left out.
All right. Team Gordon, time up.
Thank you very much. Gordon is number 2 on the ballot screen.
And
we leave Gordon good.
If you are Afi or Pare, you didn't Afi, or if you are Pare, okay. Number 2 on the ballot paper. Please. Please ask your questions.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Gordon. I believe you have won because God has given you the mandate. So what new ideas can you bring on board? What has been your motivation for this portfolio? And what new ideas are you bringing on board to help improve our SRC? Thank you.
Okay. I want the students of UCC to understand that we want to tax every aspirant to know that if you are contesting for a position and you don't have any information, you have even disqualified yourself in the first place. Yes. The free shuttle service, there's no lawsuit. The lawsuit in the court is as a result of breachment of procurement. HM Buafu has been paid off and they have done their service. SRC does not owe any company any penny. So we want to tell Gordon that he doesn't know anything. If he does not know what he's doing, then he shouldn't come and mislead.
Okay, all right. We don't know if it's a question or not. Hello. Hello. Cross. Cross. Or go down. If you don't tell your people to at least do something, please, let's have some decorum. And if you come here, ask a question.
Believers.
The opportunity is to ask a question.
Believers, let's have some decorum.
Good afternoon, Mr. Edward Gordon. Probing your submissions, I would like to ask this question. Since we are having an annex of UCC at Indium School of Business, and they were never privileged to listen to some of your admissions, I would like to ask, what are you having on board for them? Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. The first question was in relation to my drive for this particular position. I have been in this university since 2013. I did my first degree here. I did my national service here as a teaching assistant before coming to the law school. So my motivation is driven by my experience as students of the University of Cape Coast. The challenges that have persisted over the 8 years that I have been here. I can no longer sit and watch. I have to be the change that I seek. And that is what I am doing. On the question of the free shuttle, you see, when you come here to talk, it is about asking a question. It is not about fighting. You see, you yourself have not had the benefit of reading what you are talking about. I have been in court, and I have stood in the docket on behalf of the students. So I would rather appreciate if that effort of mine is applauded than what you came to do here. It is rather unfortunate, and I forgive you for that. On the question of Indium School of Business, my curriculum studies lecturer is here, Dr. Adabo. Hilda Taba, in the stages of curriculum development, stated that the first stage, before you come out with any policy, you have to do situational analysis, or what we call feasibility studies. Team Gordon has already begun the work. Even when we knew that the level 100s were not going to vote, we were the first SRC presidential group to go to the Indium School of Business. We did not go there because we are going to seek for their vote. We went there to do a situational analysis of their challenges they face. And we noticed that there is no pharmacy, there is no market, there is no taxi rank. I have had the privilege of meeting face to face with Miss Gladys Mensah, who is the coordinator at the place. And she makes me aware that another challenge that she faced, the group faced over there, is water. And advised that when voted for as SRC president, I should give them a pump to bring water to their rooms. So the work has already begun.
All right, thank you very much. Gordon. Thank you, Tim Gordon. Edward Gordon and Eugenia Efia Opare, number 2 on the ballot paper. We go to number 3. Number 3 on the ballot paper, Christopher Obiokun Gaston and Rashidatu Safi. Team Tofa, number 3 on the ballot paper. Okay, so please, it's okay. Let's calm down. Let's have some decorum. Okay, so now, Team Tofa, start your presentation.
Brothers and sisters of the student front of UCC, we have in the past months called on you in your rooms. We have been to your lecture theaters and reached out to you through other media, not just to campaign, but also to solicit your views on how we can rekindle hopes and how our SRC should be run for the common good and interest of all students. We are Team Tofa, with their brother and chief servant, Christopher Datson.
Tofa, please hold on. Tofa, please hold on.
Hello? Hello? Please, can we be together? Supporters of Gordon, let's be fair to each other. Let's give the next aspirant equal opportunity for him to address his policies, please.
Team Tofa, you can continue.
Brothers and sisters of the student front of UCC, we have in the past months called on you in your rooms. We have been to your lecture theaters and reached out to you through other media, not just to campaign, but also to solicit your views and rekindle your hopes on how our SRC should be run for the common good and common interest of all students. We are Team Tofa with your brother and chief servant, Christopher Datson, as the standard bearer, and ably supported by Rashida Tusafu as the running mate. As we went round, we saw hopes down, apathy on the increase, and several questions and concerns in the minds of the good students of UCC. You have been wondering whether the SRC exerts its influence on the academic and social well-being of students on campus. You also wonder whether the SRC represents itself and its leaders or represents the ordinary student. We present to you the Enidasro Manifesto, drafted from continuous deliberations with various stakeholders and the student front in UCC, reflecting the hopes, aspirations, and expectations of the ordinary student. Here and now, I want to speak to you specifically as a student with particular needs, and want to speak to your aspirations and expectations. As students, fundamental to teaching and learning is a conducive classroom environment. It is unfortunate that there's the absence of things as basic as projectors, address systems, and furniture in our lecture theaters, while we pay a maintenance component as part of our fees. These and others impede our academic progress. We will do the following to help ameliorate the situation. Team Tofa will reintroduce the better lecture theaters policy. Under this policy, we will strongly lobby management to fix or replace all faulty furniture, projectors, microphones, and all other gadgets that facilitate smooth lectures. To achieve this, we'll set up a student task force to report on things that need fixing or replacement, and also to ensure the proper maintenance of same. Through our SRC rep on the timetable committee, we'll push for the early registration and the early release of academic timetable into student portals. We will reinforce the support schemes, namely the research support scheme, which is intended to aid undergrads during their project work, and the trail support scheme for those who trailed in some papers to get the needed support to retake these papers. For our continuing students who are struggling with accommodation and tenancy issues, we intend to propose a universal tenancy agreement model, which will be adopted and adhered to by all private providers of accommodation on campus, to regulate the pricing and conditions of service of these hostels. For our sportsmen and women, we acknowledge that you need a lot of encouragement and support. Our primary intervention will be to ensure that we have a solid sports insurance policy. In those parameters, our sports people who encounter injury during their quest for glory of the university would have a contingency fund to facilitate recovery. We plan to mount a strong defense for the introduction and adoption of the sports for credit policy for our sports people. We also push that Tuesday Sports Day be fully institutionalized and be given the needed attention. We at Team Tofa trust that the SRC must also seek to add value to students and expose students to opportunities.
If you are a student in the creative arts and entertainment, we have you covered. The SRC will develop a formidable web presence to market our talent both locally and internationally. This will be done by revamping our social media accounts and empowering our publicity committee to discharge that duty. Are you a final year student and thinking of what the job market holds for you? We will organize the Jobs Day Fair. This program will expose students to opportunities and realities of the job market. Also, for social entrepreneurs and those in the tech, we will introduce a hackathon challenge where students will be tasked to use information technology to address problems in our university and society at large. Relating to students who apply the SWLT roles, we intend exploring other possibilities which would ensure transport options to places and then the diaspora. In matters concerning health, we will strongly push for the reintroduction of students' consultation room and will ask health workers to put on name tags to aid reporting of staff who act in variance to ethics. Also, we will commit funds to acquire medical supplies such as nose masks and hand sanitizers to protect students from COVID-19. Concerning students, especially those of us in the diaspora whose security are compromised, we intend to develop students' own grown plan and push the same to the university security section. This plan will organically entail data from assessments of risky areas on campus that would inform the deployment of personnel. Also, we will reactivate and man the security visibility posts in the diaspora.
We want to assure you that our administration will lead the student front and implement our policies based on the following 3 cardinal points: transparency, accountability, and inclusiveness. We form an independent student audit committee which will serve as an internal financial whip for the SRC and student leadership at large. We empower the parliamentary and judicial councils and give them the needed independence to bring effective check and balance. We work towards expediting the promulgation of the SRC constitution if it is not promulgated by the time we take office. We also ensure that no group is marginalized or left out in governance, from females to persons with disability. We also ensure initiate the JCRC meetups where SRC executives will come to the JCRs to engage and address issues that are pertinent to students. Fellow students, it is no more business as usual for the SRC. The most inclusive, transparent, accountable, and student-centered SRC leadership. 1 minute more. It is Team Tofa with the reviving hope and restoring faith message. Let all hearts be receptive to this message. Vote number 3 on the ballot, for it is a new dawn of student leadership. Hopes alive. Thank you.
Thank you, Christopher Ekuoku, Datsun, and Rashida. 2. Tofa number 3 on the ballot paper. 3 questions.
Good afternoon, you all. My question is, good morning, you all. My question is that, Mr. Datsun, it is very imperative to know what has been the anchorage, because you have been persistent with this reviving hope, restoring faith. We want to know what is anchoring you, because all we know is that in politics, dynamism is the way of life. And then there's a saying that where there is a strong light, there is a strong shadow. So we actually want to know what has been the anchorage for this reviving hope, restoring faith. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. All protocol observed. The question I would want to ask is that we all know we are not in a normal, we are in the new normal. Now, the school have developed a new system that we'll be having 30% physical contact and 70% online studies. As an SRC president, if voted into power, you know that the Wi-Fi system in the school is very bad. How would you ensure that everybody is covered in this new system? Thank you.
Good day, students. My name is Nanabi. Mr. Christopher, I would want to ask you your other alternative concerning the transport issues on campus. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for the questions. The very first question was asking what reviving hope and restoring faith is about. As I said, as we went around, we noticed that hopes were down and students have lost a lot of hope in our leadership. We need to move away from the fact that the SRC is about just the SRC president or 4 or 5 people who are the SRC executives. The SRC was set up to be an effective representation for students. And so we should build an SRC which is student-centered, where each and every student's voice really matters. And that is what we want to do to revive the hopes of the ordinary student. For the second question, I think it was about the school moving to 30% virtual learning and 70% in person. The problem we've had with our Wi-Fi is that we have people from the communities sometimes coming around to use our Wi-Fi, and so the bandwidth is not sometimes enough for students. And so we are going to ensure that there's this Wi-Fi security so that you can only access our Wi-Fi if you are a student of the University of Cape Coast by using your details to log into the Wi-Fi. If we do this, the pressure on the Wi-Fi is going to really go down. One, there will be speed, and also the bandwidth will be enough for students to use to engage in online learning. And the last question was about transport, my alternative policy for this transport issue. Currently, we all know that the buses in the system are very few. And then they are enjoying some sort of monopoly, and that is how come they are charging exorbitant prices. So as an SRC, we are going to make arrangements to increase the number of buses in the system now. By increasing them, we strip them of the monopoly that they are enjoying currently, so that prices reduce drastically and every student can afford. Whilst doing that, we also liaise with management to ensure that funds are put in place so that we acquire buses for the school in the near future, so that we can internally run.
Thank you. The point has been made already.
Thank you.
Thank you. Please resume your seat.
Thank you.
Oh, clap for them. If all down, we'll clap. All right, so please, this should have been the last team to have talked or spoken. But you remember I made mention that Salihu, Said wasn't here at the time. It got to his time. So we'll give him 7 minutes as local looks president, aspirant. Where is he? Salihu, okay. So sanitize your hand there on the wall.
Good afternoon.
Madam Chairperson, all protocol observed. My name is Ucc Src, known in student activism as Zamani, a level 400 BSc Forensic Science student, an entrepreneur, a philanthropist, and a security expert. I'm known for my selfless dedication to ensure fairness and equity. I believe in the creed that together we can make this world a better place. I will not know how to perfectly structure my words or possible term of office to make things work as we all want. But I know certainly without a doubt that whenever I believe in something and I want to push it higher, and I believe people who believe in my vision would walk with me throughout the step, I try to do it to my best of abilities. We are people of constant change and who want some sort of ease in how well we grow. Tell me, sometimes we wish that everything we want comes with ease, but we know that we would have to work hard for it. Everyone who wants to remember how their school system fixed their many, I wish UCC was a dream. If a dream can die and survive perfectly, too, who can stand and help us forge such reality? Who can create a grounded and good ripple effect? I believe these policies can help us into reasonable comfort as people. Hear me out. If a breakdown in our health can affect us that bad to the extent of missing quizzes and exams, what do you think of a mini clinic exercise where we can all attend medical checkups and routinely know our health status before we totally break down of the sudden? Not a hospital, but a routine checkup center. Ghana Red Cross and Swiss Red Cross Society can help us with a collaboration. What do you think of a better system of sanitation in our school? We would negotiate and dialogue for creative ways to improve this well enough. With worldwide acclaim tag as a university, I believe there are many departments in the school that can collaborate with us and other organizations to regulate organic waste. I believe you know soldier ants. Soldier ants are very good decomposers, and then our inorganic and organic waste can be separated, where the organic waste can be processed into manure for the use of agricultural purposes. And I believe the School of Agric and School of Biological Science would happily engage in such venture with us. There is an urgent need to source funds to create summer huts and as well at every convenient leisure point. Who would not want a realistic entrepreneurship training with agencies which have relatable results and empathy? There is a need for almost all of us to complete school with traits that attest to our good public performance, speech, volunteerism. Also, a job fair experience would create at both departments and faculties to expose students to the industry players in their various fields of study, which will help students build their capacity for global market. At such events, long-lasting relationship with pioneers can help us a long way into our betterment. There is a strong effort to release tension between students and hostel owners. I believe if a rent control mechanism is put in place in collaboration with the necessary stakeholders, this tension can help students do away with the financial molestation they are put through during their stay off campus or off student residential blocks. I wish that every student find at his doorstep the opportunity to get access to passports, NHIS, and other credentials. Having come to the end of this elaborated presentation, I would like to end with a Twi proverb. We say, I'm not an Ashanti or an Akan, but I always believe that Kechre enenya adepa. And I believe, being the Kechre, you people will vote massively for Team Zamani for local looks president, number 3 on the balance screen. Thank you.
Thank you. Salihu Ucc Src Zamani as the teaser, number 3 on the ballot paper. Any question for Zamani? Any question for Zamani? All right, Zamani, please resume your seat. All right, so I hand over to the chairperson for the program to give us a closing remarks.
Thank you very much. You would all agree with me that it's been insightful and inspiring listening to our aspirants delivering their policies, asking them questions and how they are going to work towards the achievement of their policies. I'd want to take this opportunity to thank each one and every one of us for making time for this program. We would want to inform all aspirants to make sure they submit their polling agents to ODS by close of tomorrow. We are also asking you to make provision for the Indum University campus because we are creating a polling station over there as well. So please make provision for your polling agents, and then, as we all know, also make provision for what they'll be eating and drinking. On that note, say a big thank you and hope that you turn out in your numbers on the voting day, come Monday, 8th February, to vote at the various polling stations. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson. On that note, we end this afternoon's program. Thanks for coming. Bye.